Welcome back to Network Africa. And this next story did surprise us a bit. Controversial Libyan General Khalifa Haftar, who has no regard for the UN-backed unity government in Libya, has been promoted to Field Marshal. He was promoted last night by parliamentarians in the east of the country. This comes days after his forces did take over 4 oil fields in eastern Libya from a rival militia force allied to the UN-backed government in the capital, Tripoli. Field Marshal Haftar is one of the most powerful military figures in Libya, but he refuses to recognize the authority of the Tripoli Unity Administration. He does cast himself as the main opponent of the Islamist militia and has the backing of the rival government in Tobruk. Well, correspondents on the ground say that his promotion is likely to be viewed as a provocative move by the UN-backed authorities, as well as diplomats and rival militia forces in the west of the country. Following a pledge from Libya's National Oil Corporation to restart oil exports from Zueitina port, head of the labor union says more than 1 million barrels are ready to go. The chairman of Libya's National Oil Corporation visited the port Zueitina on Wednesday, and he said he will work to lift a force majeure there.
The visit by NOC chairman Mustafa Sanala came days after forces loyal to Eastern Commander Khalifa Haftar seized Zueitina and 3 other oil ports from a rival force allied to UN-backed government in Tripoli. Sanala says the NOC will begin work immediately to restart exports from the ports, but the plan could face political and legal resistance.
Because of the militia we are stationed here, Libya in general, but the port in particular, had been experiencing very difficult conditions. But thank God the blinds have been removed, and I have hope for the future of Libya. Today we have shipments from around 103 stations, and our situation is good. And we have around 1,200,000 barrels in stock that are ready for export.
But some members of the UN-backed government of national accord have criticized Haftar's seizure of the ports, and Western powers have condemned the move, saying they were ready to prevent any exports attempted outside the GNA's authority. Haftar's Libyan National Army, LNA, started taking over the ports in a drone cooperation on Sunday, September the 11th. The displaced a guard force led by Ibrahim Jathran, who had recently signed a controversial deal with the GNA to lift his blockade of Ras Lanouf, Es Saida and Zueitina.
We took control of the port on the first day of Eid and then delivered a statement to the media. I was ordered to arrange for a colonel to become one of the oil guards and send a small number of soldiers and NCOs to assist him. They are all currently here, and we haven't faced any problems with delivery or collection.
Political turmoil, armed conflict and militant attacks have reduced Libya's oil production to a fraction of the 1.6 million barrels per day it produced before the North African country's 2011 uprising. Some infrastructure, including the Ras Lanouf and Es Saida terminals, have been badly damaged. The combined capacity of the 4 ports seized by the LNA is about 770,000 barrels per day. Es Saida, Ras Lanouf and Zueitina have all been under force majeure, while Brega has remained open but with a reduced output.
Over in South Sudan, the head of the Human Rights Commission there, Yasmin Souk, says impunity would continue in the country unless there is accountability. During her team's 19-day mission to the country, the Human Rights Council established a 3-member commission to monitor and report on the situation of human rights in South Sudan. They're also supposed to make recommendations for its improvement. Well, the team visited protection of civilian sites in Malakal and Bentiu and met with political and community leaders, refugees, internally displaced people and humanitarian workers on the ground. They're also scheduled to meet with senior government officials, a number of ministers, parliamentarians, police, judicial officers, military officials. The commission is expected to visit Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where they will meet with the African Union, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, and other members of the international community and civil society. It's good news for Nigeria at the Paralympics in Rio. Nigerian powerlifter Josephine Orji did set a new world record and won the country's 8th gold medal at the Games in Rio. A 37-year-old lifted 154 kilograms to win her medal in the plus 86 kilogram powerlifting event. Her lift of 160 kilograms is a new world and Games record. Nigeria's Paralympians are proving to be a powerhouse, especially in powerlifting. That's something the International Paralympic Committee did note on Twitter on Tuesday when it did mention other Paralympians like Flora Oguna, who set a world record in the women's javelin F54 event. Right now, we boast of 11 medals in total, 8 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze. Yemi Adebayo, Channel TV sports correspondent, joins me now to revel in Josephine's glory.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're all smiling. It's giving us good things to talk about. It's been a clean sweep in powerlifting, not just Josephine. Every team Nigerian athlete that won something either set a new record or broke something that was existing before. And this one is awesome. You know, Josephine started, she lifted the bar. She showed everyone in her category that I'm better because she asked for something higher. She started with 151. At that point, I knew something was wrong here. And by the time she had won with 154 kilogram lift, she requested for something higher. Maybe she had records on her mind, you know, and the people on her corner as well. We should give them some credit. They probably gave her good advice, and it worked. A 160 lift, and like you said in your intro, the people from the International Paralympic Committee already taking notice of Nigeria, our achievements, everything that we're doing here. I mean, a lot going on well for Nigeria.
Yeah, you see the Paralympic team doing so well at the Olympics. I mean, and you have able-bodied people who came home with just the lesser medals than this group. Is it any easier for the Paralympians, you think, than those who are able-bodied?
It's not. You know, the reason I'll give is not something we should be saying, but, you know, Nigerians thrive in the face of adversity. It didn't work for the able-bodied guys, but all the obstacles that these people are coming across are the things they come across every day in their life. I don't want to say life is hard, but you know what I mean. You know, they face a lot of challenges, a lot of things are not rigged in their favor. You know, disability is really a problem in this part of the world. In the Western world, they make a lot of room for your transportation, for all of those things, your sporting facilities. Some of these guys even trained with able-bodied back, you know, so all of those things. So I think they're used to those stuff. It's not an excuse for us not giving them what they need. But if you're asking me why they seem to do well, that's the reason. And even before the Olympics started, we knew if any group of people were going to get gold, it's going to be the, you know. I'd
like you to talk quickly about Flora Oguna's own world record in the women's javelin event.
It's surprising, you know. We've won 9 medals in powerlifting, so most of us thought we'd just stop with powerlifting. Our target was 6, but now we have 2 from athletics. Flora, the one you just talked about. It's surprising, the troll, like I said, you know, broke records. It's really surprising because most of us didn't see it coming. Another one of our athletes won in shot put. These are events that some of our able-bodied athletes don't even come close. But all of these ones, it's surprising. It might take us a while to really understand what these guys have really achieved in Rio.
No, thank you so much, Yemi, for joining us on Network Africa. We are proud of the Paralympic team, Nigeria, and in Rio. And when we come back after the break on Network Africa, the world's largest cocoa bean producer, Côte d'Ivoire, positions itself to meet growing local demand for chocolate products by using alternative cocoa powder. Do join us again.